Romain Grosjean really is often this reverse grid race on a Sunday that gives you a clue as to which drivers have got what it takes to win a championship, because particularly well, but made up for it. Here we're on board with Romain Grosjean. He did make a reasonable start. Got Buemi on the right-hand side trying to get past Kobayashi. Grosjean going down to the left-hand side, safe side, gets the momentum, drags his way past Buemi. A bit of a lock up there into turn one, but takes that sort of an earlier mistake at this corner 1 lap ago.
Riding with Romain Grosjean, the second place man. You can see Kamui Kobayashi in the Dams car up ahead, getting closer. Romain Grosjean pulls out to the right. Grosjean, the Swiss racer, pulls out and off into the lead, and in the meantime has also said he's going up the hill from turn 1 when the track slopes goes upwards, and then through turn 10 as well.
So there's a bit of smoke. We're on board with Buemi. That's lock-up smoke, tyre smoke. He locked up into turn 1, which is how come Pantano was able to...
Feature race yesterday was running up 5th and 6th place for a long period, and his tyres just completely went and finished well down the field. In the end, Vias 18th overall, did set a fastest lap, but it didn't count for the points. At the moment, he's running in 12th place. The man you can see behind him is Ben Hanley for Campos, and just out behind that, Mike Conway, who's closed up on his British counterpart. So the two British guys having a battle, and they have Adrian Vias ahead of them at the moment in the Fisichella Motorsport.
Well, the FMS car that we're riding on board with, Adrian Vias, looking a real handful, sliding, locking again. That's 2 corners already in this lap. He's had a big lock up, and he's certainly going to eat through the tyres again at this rate. The track...
Why? 3 cars now, barely separated by a couple of feet. Down the main straight they come. Vias, and behind him, Ben Hanley under pressure from Mike Conway going into turn 1. Conway not quite close enough, I think, to have a go. He'll move out to the right-hand side. Ben Hanley defends his line, doesn't really need to. Just worry about taking the racing line, Ben. Mike Conway not close enough to get past on this occasion, but they are, by that chicane, all getting very, very close and getting very excited.
Well, you can see quite a variation in rate. Just about gets into the hairpin in front of Ben Hanley, and I think really Ben needs to go for it. He needs to get his head down and take a bit of an optimistic lunge. Down into turn 1 is his best chance.
Just have a go for it and see what happens. Hand side as they go through the hairpin at turn 5, can't get past.
Well, on board with Vias again. Ben diving down the inside, but clearly not getting quite alongside, but bouncing off the curb, perhaps nudging Vias to run wide there, and well...
Haven't. Meanwhile, Ben Hanley still all over the back of Adrian Vias. Up towards the top of the hill at the moment, turn 12 and 13, before they head down towards the chicane. Tantalisingly close for Ben Hanley as they enter through that chicane. On the straight.
Well, it was Giorgio Pantano that had been blowing smoke out of his exhaust for the last few laps. We hadn't expected Petrov to stop, but certainly mechanical problems. He's just pulled over and stopped. He's out of the race for sure, out of the points. Shame for him. He was really holding his own there, up there in the top 6.
Of course, IRL for Chip Ganassi has been around an awful long time. Meanwhile, back with Adrian Vias, 11th place. Ben Hanley still right behind him. Mike Conway, after going off into the dirt a couple of laps ago, has just dropped back a little bit. And still the yellow flags being waved down this main straight, which is why you can see the lap marker has gone yellow here. Down the main straight they come, past the stranded Campos car of Vitaly Petrov. Will Ben Hanley move over to the right-hand side, have a little go again? No, out again. So whatever it was, they seem to have fixed it. Ben Hanley, a little replay we're getting there, having a go on Adrian Vias round the hairpin. Couldn't make it stick, or could he? Well, it looks from that angle that he did. Vias went wide. Mike Conway then trying a little move himself, and maybe that tyre situation.
Need to get that car out of danger, out of the middle of the road. So bad news for Romain Grosjean, who had about a 6-second lead over Kobayashi, who in turn was 6 seconds ahead of Sebastian Buemi. This has bunched the field up, so good news for us.
Absolutely. It's going to be 5 laps or so right to the finish here, and Romain Grosjean. It's the incident they're looking at. Behind them you saw the 2 PK sports cars having their own little tangle, but Romain Grosjean, what he did there, was that legitimate?
It's marginal, it's very aggressive, it's intimidating.
What went wrong?
Well, what went wrong? Just glued together, I think, throughout the entire race, and two very competitive guys gunning for position within that team. We're on board with Romain Grosjean. He hasn't taken his drive-through penalty yet. He does need to, though, and he's going to get in an awful lot more hot water unless he comes into the pit lane. 3 laps remaining. He'll be in this lap.
So Romain Grosjean leads, but not for much longer. Kamui Kobayashi, the Japanese driver, second at the moment, and therefore a better driver as a result, and they're expecting good things from him this season. Is he coming in? Finally, Romain Grosjean accepts his punishment.
Well, Grosjean in the pit lane now, jumping on the brakes now, down to the pit lane speed limit, and this will be painful. He loses the lead as we speak. Kobayashi streaking past him at full speed on the straight.
Today's feature race winner, just out of the points in the Sprint Sunday in 7th from Mike Conway and Ben Harris.